teach me so much. I have individuals that are obsessed with like World War II, US history, politics. So it's really interesting to hear from them, or like sports, or like just like cartoons and stuff. So it's really interesting like I said, it depends on the individual that I'm working with. Just they're all different. And that's why I love my field, that interaction and seeing what works, what they like to do.
Welcome to the When I Grow Up podcast, where we talk about what people wanted to do when they grew up, what they do now, and how they got there. And today's guest, Molly, is an old friend. We met through, I think it was a Disney forum, but one of my favorite things about this podcast is getting to hear the vast differences in people's career journeys. And Molly's story shows us how the impacts of people in our lives growing up will start to influence what we want to replicate in the careers ahead of us. I can't wait to share with you how she moved from wanting to be a waitress to being a day program manager for people with disabilities. Let's dive in. Hi, Molly. Welcome to the podcast. I'm so excited to have you here today.
Thank you so much for having me. I truly appreciate it.
Yeah. So every single time, I always start off with this question, and it's just, what is it that you wanted to do when you grew up? What was like that childhood dream of yours?
Because I looked up to one of my neighbors, it was being a waitress. But obviously, everything just was completely different. It was just funny. I was just thinking that the other day. I was like, oh, yeah.
So you wanted to be a waitress because of your neighbor. That's so interesting.
Yeah. I just thought she was so cool, like.
Well, you must have had a decent relationship with your neighbor. Like, you must have actually like engaged with her. I feel like nowadays we don't always talk to our neighbors. So you must have known her
Yeah, so
decently well as a kid.
growing up, I lived in the cul-de-sac, so I spent a lot of time with my neighbor's son, and because we were like the same age. So like I would always be over the house, and even our parents would always chat, and we did a lot of stuff and like barbecues and actually Margaritaville parties. My parents set that up. So for the block, it was really neat growing up, yeah, and just different perspective from now I live in the city, so it's definitely different.
So different. What is it that you do now?
So I'm what's called an assistant day program manager for adults with disabilities. It's really neat. Every day is completely
Yeah.
different. I enjoy it. And it's like giving back to the community. It's just one of those things, like my heart is into it. So
Yeah. So what does a typical day look like then as you're helping kind of set up that program?
yeah, so I work in direct care a lot with the individuals that we serve. So each day is completely different depending on their schedule and their likes. We do a lot of volunteer work out in the community with them, or employment. We go to their jobs as job coaches. And also, too, we help plan the individual service agreement that's every single year it changes with new goals. So we come up with new goals for the individuals to work on, and also to like add anything, like if they got new employment, if they're volunteering, if something medical happened, like any new seizures that popped up or medical concerns. So it really depends on each individual, which is why I enjoy it, because everyone's just so different. So you get a lot of different
Yeah.
perspectives throughout the program. It's just fun, and all our guys just enjoy being with each other, and I enjoy being with them and just hanging out with them. So it depends on us too. Like we help them grocery shop and meal plan, if that's in their schedule and if their goals. So it really just depends on the individual. Every day is different, which is why I enjoy it.
Yeah. How long have you been a day program manager?
So, probably about 8 years. I've been a direct support aide for 13 years. I've been in the field for 13. So I worked my way up as management throughout different companies. I did get laid off during COVID, so I switched to a different company. So it really depends on the company. But
Yeah.
yeah, it's been really like at 13 years, I just really enjoyed the work. So
Did you was it something that you knew you would enjoy before you got into it, or did you kind of figure it out as you started the work?
it's really interesting. So I originally thought I would want to go into education when I went for college. And then I switched to social work and just to see what's out there, different kinds. And then as I was out of college, fresh out, I started applying to jobs and I'm like, oh, this is really neat working with individuals with disabilities. Like there's tons of different programs out there, nonprofits and social organizations. So I'm just like, it's really neat. So I landed a full time position in one of them and just worked my way up. So it was just really interesting. I'm like, I like this.
Yeah, and it's interesting to me, like you said, there's so many ways that you can help persons with disabilities, and so you found a way that you can really be helping on the day-to-day tasks. It's helping people with disabilities live life well in a way. Like, is that what it feels like a lot of times?
Yeah, I try to advocate for each individual on the level of that individual. Some of them are basically completely independent. They just need that extra support, and some of them are completely dependent on us. And I just, as much as I can, support them in each different level, depending on their version that they need. So it's really interesting in that aspect too. And that's why I enjoy the work. And yeah, I just try to advocate for them as best I can, help them, support them. So it really depends on the individual and the day to day too. And just figuring out that sweet spot, which is really nice. Cause like you could be volunteering somewhere and or they're working on the goals and they just get it like that. It's like, yay!
Yeah.
Just like that little
Oh, man.
celebration. Oh,
Yeah.
it's just really interesting. And sometimes, we're just like hanging out and we just have inside jokes, or, just supporting them through a rough day too, and just like helping them process it too. It really depends on what's going on. But yeah, I just
Mhm.
really enjoy my field.
Yeah. Well, a lot of times in the field that is helping others, there's lots of things that can fall under that umbrella, and I fully understand that. There is this high risk of burnout for providers in those spaces, I think, because we give so much. Do you have you ever faced that, or have you been able to avoid it because of your love for the work?
So at the very beginning, I did face it. It was definitely a dark time
Yeah.
for myself. And I did,
Mm,
ask for support and I was able to get that support, a couple of days off to just recoup. And I learned from that. I tell all our aides, take your time off. You need it. We all have obligations and families and things we want to do and need to do. So I
mhm,
fully support each of our aides whenever they take time off as much as I can. And even now, like I try take my time off as much as I can. There's certain times, like First of July week, I'm off because I want to be with my family. Like I try to
yeah.
rearrange my schedule so I have that time.
Yeah, so you've learned to prioritize making sure that your life is balanced. It's not just all work, and putting
Yeah.
yourself into the work, but also giving room for yourself outside of it too. Mhm.
Yeah. And then, I tell anyone that, it's take your time as so because anyone can get burnt out. It's one of those things. It's just, it is what it is.
Mhm. But you also mentioned you really love your team. Like, you love the people that you work with, like, both the clients that you're working with, but also the team members or teammates that you're working with. Um, can you share kind of how much of an impact the people you're working with, um, as coworkers, how much of an impact does that have for you in what you're doing and how much you enjoy it?
It's so interesting. At least where I live, a lot of our aides, our DSPs, direct support professionals, are from Nepal. So I get to learn a
Mhm.
lot about Nepal and all their
That's
different
awesome.
like things. So it's just really interesting. I try to inspire them, making sure that the individuals are getting their independence as much as possible, teaching them that sweet spot, to make sure. And
Mhm.
they're great advocates too. The DSPs. It's just one of those things. We work
Mhm.
really well as a team. We know my manager and I, who works
Mhm.
well with too. Like we try to mesh everything together for it to flow. So it's just really they inspire me
Mhm.
too. It's just really interesting and really fun. And a lot of them too are like been in the field for so long too, so it's nice to get their perspective on the individual. Like if I'm trained to work with them as well to take over if they're on vacation, so it's just really interesting. It's like, oh yeah, I saw that. It really depends on the
Yeah.
staff, but they're so great. We really do work as a team. We've had holiday parties, Christmas parties, Valentine's Day parties, Halloween. We've also went to our local fire department for a field trip. Also, too, I was able to book us to go to a science museum, so that was really fun too, Seacoast Science Museum, and it was just so fun. I enjoy seeing some of our guys like actions, like especially at the museum, like they're seeing fish, like all the different colors, like they're
Mhm.
stimulated, and just doing all the interactive stuff with them. So
Yeah.
really, it's like fascinating. Sometimes, like, oh, they like that too, like.
Mhm. You, like, learn from the different things that you do with them. You learn what is enjoyable and what's maybe falls flat kinda thing.
Yeah, and they teach me so much. We have individuals that are obsessed with like World War II, US history, politics. So it's really interesting to hear from them or like sports or like just like cartoons and stuff. It's like, oh yeah, like, oh, that's cool. I didn't know that. Or like music. So it's really
Yeah.
interesting like I said, it depends on the individual that I'm working with. It's just all different. And that's why I love my field,
Yeah.
that interaction and seeing what works, what they like to do.
Yeah. Well, it sounds like the variety in a way, like the variety of the people that you work with and what you get to do is such a huge reason why you love what you do because you have all of these chances to hear like you get to learn so many stories and I love that because I mean that's what I love doing too, but you get
Yeah.
to actually like hear people's interest areas and their stories and all of these spaces when you figure out what they need to do well in life and in what they're doing and that's awesome. I love that.
Yeah, each one of our individuals has a different story. And it's interesting how like they interact with each other too as peers and with staff too, because we all enjoy being with different people. So it's fun. It's like, oh, so and so really hits it off with so and so. Why don't they go play basketball together at the park? Why don't they go swimming at the Y? So it's just really
Mhm.
interesting.
Mhm. Now I think you mentioned this, but I want to go back. You started getting into this area early on. Like you went to college for social work, so you knew pretty early on that that's the direction you want to go. Is that right?
Yeah, I knew I wanted to like work with people. At first, like I said, it was the kids, education. I wanted to be a teacher at first, but then it just switched over. And it was like, oh, this is just so different. And I don't know how teachers do it.
Mhm.
Just teachers are just amazing.
I think I have a conversation every single episode about how incredible teachers are because I agree. I think there is just so much admiration for teachers and all that they
It's
do.
yeah. One of my best friends
Mhm.
is a teacher. I'm like, I don't know how you do. And she does the little ones, the first graders. So that's
Oh.
where she's at. It's like,
Mhm. Yeah.
she found her calling through that. I found my calling through this. It's really interesting. So,
Yeah. Do you remember where your kind of like aha moment was? Like where you kind of stepped into that, "Oh, this is the way that I want to help people."
when I definitely started working with the families, like a couple months in,
Yeah.
I'm like, this is what I want to do. I got to meet the managers at work and be like, oh, yeah, like I would love this job, like, being with
Mhm.
them and helping support each individual getting their services that they need and deserve. So, yeah,
Mhm.
I'm like, yep, this is what I want to do. Like,
So you had to be in it. You had to be in the job to really know that it was the one that you wanted to continue in.
Yeah, because it sounded so interesting at first. And I
Mhm.
was like, oh yeah, there's more to it. So I'm like, oh, okay.
Yeah. Well, it's such a key point, I think, a lot of times for people because we get on a little bit of a platform here, but we're all asking individuals to choose what fits best before they even get to try on jobs. And so you were able to find that,
Um,
but you had to actually be in it before it really settled. And you were like, yep, I do like this. This does work well. So,
yeah, I
yeah.
mean, I tell people don't go to college unless you absolutely know what you want to do, or
Ooh,
at least
I
try,
agree.
community college because it's just so expensive. So, but I'm
Mhm.
like, yeah, if you know, that's great. Like, if you know you want to be a teacher or a doctor, go ahead.
Mhm.
But just because it's
Mhm.
so expensive, I'm like, I'd rather not waste that money unless I knew what I wanted to do.
Now, did you follow that? Like you waited until you knew what you wanted to do, and then you were able to kinda do a straight track toward that?
Sort of. At first, I went for education, and then I was
Right.
able to switch over to social work. So it was just
Okay.
easy like that to switch over because most of the classes were transferring. So I was like,
Okay.
oh yeah,
That's good. I'm glad that they transferred
yeah.
because I think you got that experience of, "Okay, I was wrong on the first step, but I can" like, you were able to pivot without too much loss of time or money or anything like that.
Yeah, but I also feel like it's never a waste in like if you're figuring it out too, you know what I mean?
Mhm.
Even I tell people, oh, go volunteer like at the shelters or like animal shelters or just anywhere that might need Meals on Wheels, delivering
Yeah.
meals to people anywhere to see what sticks, you know what I mean? Like
Mhm.
see if anything
Mhm.
to just take some time and figure it out. So it can be a lot. I don't know how some people do it. I'm lucky that I was able to do it really quickly.
Mhm. I'm curious about the little kid part of you that that wanted to be a waitress because her neighbor was a waitress. Um, when you look back on that part of you, that piece of you that was like, well, I just wanted to, what was it that you believed being a waitress was?
See, I wasn't too sure because I just thought my neighbor was so cool. I'm just like, oh, I want her job because she's so
Literally
cool,
her.
like
You were like, I want to be her.
yeah.
Uh huh. What do you remember
So
about her?
she was great. It's just one of those things. Like our family's really connected, so it was nice hanging out with them.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Do you remember, like you said, your family's hung out a lot? I think you said you guys did like barbecues and you said something else and I'm forgetting again. But you had really
Margaritaville parties.
margarita. You thank you. Thank you. um so it was obviously a good time.
Yeah.
But it's do you are you still connected with her? Like do you still know your neighbor
My
like
parents are.
yeah, okay. So there's still a connection there years later with
Yeah.
her.
Yeah.
Mhm. Yeah. Uh, have you ever told her that, like, she was your first kind of goal as, "I wanted to be a waitress like you"?
No.
No? Oh man, she
No.
gonna find out now, like, it's no,
Maybe.
I love it, I love it. What what I hear, and this is just I always like to hear where the first, like, dreams of a career existed for people because it in some ways, it still gives us hints to what we do eventually. And like you were
Yeah.
influenced by a person and you found like so much meaning and impact in that relationship. And I think that now you translate that. You have so many powerful relationships with your clients, with the people with disabilities and you're like, I love this because they're interesting people and your neighbor was an interesting person and it's carried. That's what I hear.
I yeah, I didn't even think of it that way. That's really interesting.
Yeah, I mean, I have learned that the initial dreams of our childhood, they do hold out. It just doesn't always look exactly like we expect it to look. Oh. my running joke is I wanted to be a zookeeper until I learned they worked on Christmas. And then I wanted to be a veterinarian because they worked with animals too. And then I decided I didn't want to be a veterinarian because I actually wanted to help the people whose pets were being lost and they were grieving people. And so I wanted to help the grief. And I was like, hey, Kaylee, there's a person in this world that helps people with grief and mental health support. It's called a counselor. And I was like, oh, yeah, that's interesting. And so to me, I'm like, I see this really weird like connection of
Like,
like from
yeah.
wanting to be this kid who like took care of creatures to taking care of people. Um but I think it connects. Maybe I make weird connections, but I do think it connects for
No, it
sure.
does. It definitely does. I didn't even think about it before. I know one of my best friends, she always wanted to be a teacher in high school. She started taking all these different classes and she went in college. We actually went to college together. So
Yeah.
she definitely wanted to be a teacher. It was just really interesting to see
Yeah, and
that.
she like stayed on that path.
She did, yeah. Where
Yeah.
compared to me, I'm like, just a little bit.
That's okay. That and I think like sometimes we get it wrong at first and that's okay because I feel like we have
Yeah,
multiple choices of picking jobs, and if
I
the
do.
choice that actually fits us isn't on that multiple choice, then we don't know to pick it. So,
Yeah,
that's okay.
and also too, like each field can have like the different section. Like nurses, they have like the
Yes.
ER and like the pediatrics. So it really depends. Like my mom, she's a nurse and she loves
Yeah.
working with kids. So
Yeah.
she just enjoys the kids. She did do some of the nursing homes when she
Mhm.
was younger, and then she decided children. So
Yeah.
working with the children after the schools. So
Mhm. Yeah, and you're absolutely right. Every, job, like, the name of the job also tends to have categories underneath of where you're doing that job.
yeah, and
Absolutely.
then and also my field, there's like the case management that deals with more of the legality side, like the
Mhm.
annual service agreement, checking in, making sure everything's running smoothly. There's my side where we do all the back paperwork to the goals, working with the individuals, and then there's the aides too that work with the individuals and also to advocates for them. We all advocate, but we work differently as a team, and that's why I also enjoy my job working with the case management to be like working with the team. Oh, like would this work? Let's see if this works.
Mhm. Yeah.
So
Yeah, you are absolutely right. Like you're all advocating. You all have this common goal, but you get to meet that in so many different ways through the
yeah,
practical skills, the hands-on support, the back end paperwork and making sure that's all up in the right spaces and you're absolutely right. Like the bigger goal is still there even when your work is a part of that. It's still focusing on that.
yeah, that's just really
Yeah.
interesting to think about.
Yeah. I thank you. I appreciate you coming on and sharing your story. I To me, every time I hear somebody's story, I'm just amazed at how unique each story is. Like I could have like 3 people who do your job working with persons with disabilities and helping and they could all say different things. And I think what I love
Yeah,
about hearing stories is that you have found what you love to do in this position, and it sounds like you found it and you were able to stick it out. Like, you've been at it for a while now and you love it, and
yeah.
that is incredible.
Yeah, I can't believe how long it's been. I'm just like, "Oh my god, it's crazy." I'm like,
I
"Oh."
I get it. I joke all the time. I'm like, "Oh my gosh, I'm telling people I've been a therapist for 16 years. That feels so long." But when you love what you do, it you just wanna stick in it, and I get that.
Exactly. I knew as I was in high school, like, I knew I needed to enjoy my job. Like, I couldn't just
Y
be like a
yeah.
bank teller. As much as I enjoy money, I'm just like, I just couldn't do that, just like a paperwork or whatever. I'm like, I have to be able to enjoy my work, what I'm doing.
Yeah.
That was like my number one thing too. I'm like, I have to enjoy because I want to, be there.
Yeah, and you found it. You were able to keep that focus and find something that you truly enjoy.
Yeah.
Mhm. Well, thank you again for being on the show. Like I said, it means so much to me, and I absolutely love hearing your story.
Thank you for having me. I truly appreciate it.
So did you catch it? Did you catch the theme throughout Molly's story in how it all came back to how interesting people are and how she just loved being able to absorb the stories around her of interesting people. And she gets to do that on a daily basis, helping people with disabilities. Such an incredible story. And I hope that you found it helpful. If you did find it helpful, please like, subscribe, and share all the fun things that help this channel out. And I will see you next time. Take care.